Did you know that most aquariums that mysteriously start to go wrong aren't victims of bad luck, but of simple, repetitive mistakes that owners don't even realize they're making? That's right. Many of these mistakes seem harmless at first, but over time they turn your aquarium into a biological time bomb. If you love your fish, you need to watch this video until the end, because today I'm going to show you the 7 biggest mistakes that can destroy an aquarium. And the worst part is, almost everyone makes at least one of them. And no, I'm not just talking about forgetting to clean the glass or overfeeding. These are subtle habits that seem like care, but slowly poison your ecosystem. If you're noticing cloudy water, gasping fish, uncontrolled algae, or unexplained deaths, there's a good chance you're doing one of these things. So stick with me until the end, because in addition to understanding what's wrong, you'll learn how to correct and avoid these mistakes in a simple and safe way and ensure that your aquarium returns to being a healthy little paradise. Oh, and of course, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next tips that truly save aquariums. 1. Washing everything with soap. It seems obvious, but this is one of the most fatal mistakes that beginners make. The impulse is natural. You want to make everything spotless, so you wash rocks, driftwood, and even the filter with soap or detergent. The problem is that these substances are toxic even in small quantities. Soap residue can kill beneficial bacteria, responsible for breaking down ammonia and nitrite, 2 compounds that are lethal to fish. The result? The water is crystal clear for a while, but in a few days the system collapses, fish floating, a strong smell, and a slightly milky color. Proper cleaning should only be done with running water and, if necessary, a brush specifically for aquariums. No chemicals should be used. If the filter is clogged, wash the foam with the water removed from the aquarium during a partial water change. This preserves the colonies of essential bacteria. This small change in habit can prevent up to 70% of biological collapses reported by beginners. 2. Changing all the water at once. Another classic mistake is thinking that changing all the water at once makes the aquarium renewed. In reality, this is the same as cutting down a forest and expecting it to grow back beautifully the next day. The aquarium is a living ecosystem with bacteria, microorganisms, and delicately balanced chemical parameters. When you remove everything at once, you destroy this balance and cause osmotic shock to the fish. They can die within a few hours. The correct way is to do partial water changes of 20 to 30% per week, maintaining a temperature and pH similar to the old water. Always use water conditioners to eliminate chlorine and heavy metals. A good analogy is to imagine that your fish live in an underwater city. If you suddenly change the entire atmosphere, no one survives. And what's more, if you clean the filter and change all the water on the same day, the risk is even greater. Wait at least a week between maintenance sessions. This gives the biological system time to stabilize. 3. Adding salt without knowing why. My neighbor said salt cures everything. This is undoubtedly one of the most repeated and most dangerous phrases in the world of aquariums. It's true that salt can have beneficial effects in specific situations, such as treating external parasites or minor bacterial infections. But the problem lies in indiscriminate use, without proper diagnosis or dosage. Salt alters the osmolarity of the water. That is, the amount of dissolved salts that control the exchange of fluids between the fish's body and the environment. When you add salt without knowing why, the fish have to expend energy trying to adapt to this new condition, and this causes stress, weakening, and even death, especially in sensitive species such as tetras, shrimp, bottom feeders, and live plants. Furthermore, salt can interfere with the aquarium's bacterial flora, killing microorganisms essential to biological balance. In other words, the cure ends up being worse than the disease. Use salt only when there is a proven medical reason, with precise dosage and safe guidance. And remember, to keep fish healthy, the real secret lies in good water quality, varied diet, and regular maintenance. In aquariums, excessive and poorly guided care is as dangerous as total neglect. 4. Overfeeding the fish. It's almost an emotional reflex, seeing the fish rising and thinking they're hungry. But excess food is the invisible enemy of any aquarium. Leftover food sinks, rots, and releases ammonia and nitrite, the biggest villains of water quality. Even if the filter is efficient, it can't process so much waste at once. Ideally, offer small portions that are consumed within 2 minutes. And if there's leftover food, remove it immediately. Another tip, vary the diet. Mix floating, bottom-feeding and vegetable foods for herbivorous fish. This way you keep everyone nourished without overloading the system. Remember, feeding well isn't about feeding a lot. It's about feeding right. 5. Placing decorative objects without treating them. Stones, logs and shells collected in nature may seem harmless, but many release toxic substances or alter the pH of the water. A simple log can release excess tannins and turn the water brown. Shells and corals raise the pH and harm freshwater species. Before placing any object in the aquarium, boil it for at least 20 minutes and soak it for a few days in clean water, changing it daily. And if the item releases a strong odor, foam or color, discard it. Always prefer pieces specifically for aquariums. They are safe, neutral, and do not contaminate the environment. The aquarium should be beautiful, yes, but more importantly, it must be stable and healthy. 6. Choosing incompatible fish. Few mistakes generate as much suffering and as much drama as combining incompatible species. Who hasn't seen a nice fish turn into a terror in just a few days? The truth is that many beginners trust pet stores too much, which sometimes sell the wrong species together just to close the sale. The result? Fights, stress, and silent deaths. Each species has specific parameters: temperature, pH, behavior, and territory. A simple betta, for example, cannot live with fish with long fins, as it will attack them. African cichlids and neon tetras, on the other hand, have opposite chemical requirements. Before buying any fish, research its behavior and compatibility. There are apps and websites that automatically crossbreed species and show safe combinations. Remember, an aquarium is like a condominium. If you put residents who can't stand each other, peace ends. And worse, stress doesn't just kill through fighting. It weakens the immune system, opens doors for fungi and bacteria, and turns the aquarium into an invisible battlefield. 7. Trusting only your eyes. Many aquarists say, "I know my aquarium. I know when something is wrong just by looking." But the problem is that the water can look clean and still be toxic. Ammonia and nitrite are invisible, and when the symptoms appear, gasping fish, swimming crookedly, lethargic, it's already too late. What separates a healthy aquarium from a disaster is regular water testing. Invest in simple test kits: pH, ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. With them, you detect imbalances before they become tragedies. Think of it like getting a blood test. You don't wait to feel pain to check your health, right? Fish don't scream, but the test speaks for them. Caring for an aquarium is more than just keeping fish alive. It's about creating a small, balanced world where every detail matters. And what destroys this world, most of the time, is not a lack of love, but overconfidence and haste. Washing with soap, changing all the water, overfeeding, mixing the wrong species. Each of these mistakes has one thing in common. It stems from the desire to help, but ends up causing the opposite effect. The good news is that you don't need to be a biologist or spend a fortune to have an amazing aquarium. Just understand that patience and balance are the true keys to success. The next time you look at your aquarium, remember, that small ecosystem depends 100% on you, but it also gives back 100% in tranquility, beauty, and connection with nature. Now tell me in the comments, which of these mistakes have you made, and which tip will you apply first? Leave a like if the video helped you, subscribe to the channel, and share with that friend who needs to stop doing this to their aquarium before it's too late.